Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and thanks for joining us today, August 4th, on No Greater Delight, our podcast on Marian feasts and Marian meditations. Well, today I guess you could say we have a pretty calm day. There's a number of things that we're celebrating. First off, we have Our Lady of Dordrecht, according to the Abbot Orsini. It's in Holland, the Netherlands. We're told that the shrine itself was built by Saint Sauter, or Saint Sura, or Saint Santera, as she's known, in the 1300s. And we're told, the Abbot Orsini adds, that it was on a spot designated by an angel who had been sent by the Blessed Virgin, right? The name is very interesting. Dordrecht comes from the informal name of Dort, given to the town by its inhabitants, combined with Drecht, meaning ford, right? It had a very strategic location. According to tradition, it was built by Saint, like we said, Saint Sauter, or Sauters, or Sura, or Santera, around the 1300s. It's said that she had planned on building the church when she only had 3 small coins in her purse, and then she would receive the crown of martyrdom in the same church where the shrine was erected, right? Supposedly murdered by the builders of the chapel out of greed because they thought she had money. Some people say she even rose from the dead after her murder, interestingly enough. But actually, like, the church is still there. It's a very big church, and the tower is 122 meters tall. It's the tallest structure in the city. It has 49 bells that were installed in 1949, right? And Charles the Bold, if you're interested, is buried in the choir space behind the high altar. The church was the home of Michelangelo's statue, known as the Madonna and Child, which had been donated to the church in 1514. Fortunately, it survived the French Revolution and even survived World War II, but it was returned after it had been stolen by the Nazis. So that's Our Lady of Dordrecht. We can jump down a little bit to France, and the Verger de l'Invention, Font Remue Odier Vu in Pyrénées Orientales, Occitane in France. Just pretend those are all pronounced clearly. The story goes that a herder who was pasturing his cattle in the fierce of calm noticed a bull repeatedly leave the herd and, paw fiercely at the ground near a spring. So he couldn't control the animal, so the herder just decided to strike it. But he stopped in joyous amazement when he saw that the bull had uncovered a buried statue of the Virgin and Child. He ran to the parishioners of Odilio, who built a chapel at the site of the invention or discovery of the statue, right? Like we talk about the exaltation or the invention of the cross. The site became known as Font Rameau, the Pilgrim Spring. The gilt wood statue is 26 inches high, and it's usually dated to the 1200s, right? From Trinity Sunday to the Virgin's Feast Day, September 8th, it resides in an elaborate Baroque altarpiece in the chapel of Font Rameau. Then it moves for the winter to another gilt Baroque altarpiece in St. Martin's Church in Odilio. And that same church is also a Romanesque seated Virgin, the Madone de Lieu of the 1100s, right? The statue was solemnly crowned by Cardinal Louis de Bois, the Archbishop of Paris, on, you guessed it, August 4th, 1926. That's why it's celebrated today. Likewise, the Mediatrix of All Graces in Aokepe, in Okpokbu, in Benin, in Nigeria, they celebrate the anniversary of the first public apparition of Our Lady to Christiana Agbo in 1995. Last but not least, we also celebrate Madonna del Monte Grappa in Monte Grappa. So today they recall the blessing and inauguration of the little church with its image of Our Lady. It was blessed by then Patriarch of Venice, a Cardinal Giuseppe Sarto, who would later become, you guessed it, Pope St. Pius X. And this blessing took place on August 4th, 1901. So that's what we're celebrating today in the Marian world on August 4th. For today's Marian meditation, taken from the book by Father Ildefonso Villar, we start meditation 93. This is actually the last meditation contained in this book, and it's entitled Sanctity. The first point is the Holy Will of God. We are reaching the end of our Marian meditations, whose chief aim should be to spur us on to labor for our sanctification. This is the will of God, says St. Paul, that you should become saints. This was God's holy will about our Blessed Lady, as it is also in regard to ourselves. Let then this meditation on sanctity be the crowning of all the other meditations. The virtues of our Holy Mother form her glorious crown. She is our perfect model, our peerless teacher. Let us see her also as our model in sanctity. The sanctity of Mary is a pleasant, yet difficult subject to delve into. In order to deal with it all exhaustively, we should have a perfect knowledge of it. This is possible only to God. Yet we must meditate on the sanctity of the most holy soul of Mary, so that we may follow her at close range. This indeed is the holy will of God, that we must become saints. Consequently, sanctity is a duty which we must fulfill. It is not just simple advice. All of us wish to save ourselves, but do we equally want to be saints? And yet both things are inseparable. Only the one who ensures the life of grace in his soul will save himself. But this is precisely sanctity. Grace is sanctity. Naturally, there are many different degrees in it, but without grace there is no entering heaven, and without sanctity nobody can be saved. We must then strive after sanctity in order to save ourselves. To aim at salvation, and to consider sanctity as an exclusive privilege of some chosen few, would be a fatal mistake. All are invited to the higher degree of perfection. To this climbing, there is no limit. Sanctity, which presupposes the grace of God, is God's greatest achievement, the most divine of his works. But it is also the masterpiece of man. He could do nothing greater. The most important thing man can do is work at this enterprise. Could we see a soul in the state of grace, in the state of sanctity, we could see God himself in it, since its beauty is the beauty of God. The greater the sanctity in a soul, the more intimate is also its union with God, its share of the divine perfections. For today's reading from the Admirable Heart of Mary, we read the conclusion of chapter 13, in which St. John Eudes finishes his exegesis of the Magnificat lines, "He hath received Israel his servant." But what is the primary cause of this ineffable mystery, and consequently of all the infinite blessings which proceed from it? Do you not hear the most pure Virgin affirming in these words, "Recordatus misericordiae suae"? Yes, Mother of Grace, it is indeed divine mercy that is the origin of the incarnation of your Son, and of all the immense treasures proceeding therefrom. And for all these things, next to the incomparable mercy, we are indebted to thy maternal heart. For by what other means did you bring the eternal Word from the adorable bosom of his Father into your own virginal bosom and sacred womb? Do we not hear the Holy Spirit, who, speaking through you, declares that while the eternal King was dwelling in the bosom and heart of his Father, the most profound humility of your lovable heart gave forth such a pleasing and powerful odor, that rising up to him, it pleased God to the extreme of attracting him to descend to you, where he became incarnate for the redemption of the world? Is it not what is meant by these divine words? While the king was at his repose, my spikenard sent forth the odor thereof? That's from the Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 11. It is the explanation offered by the saints, who say that the spikenard is a tiny but extremely fragrant herb, which represents your sweet humility. But, aside from the merit and strength of this holy virtue, how many ardent sighs did you send heavenward? How many tears did you shed? How many fasts and mortifications did you practice? How many earnest and ardent prayers did you offer to obtain from the Father of mercy the fulfillment of his promises regarding the incarnation of his Son, and to draw the attention to this same Son to the prayers and cries of all the holy patriarchs, prophets, and just persons who preceded his coming on earth? Veni Domine, veni noli tardare, veni libera nos. O Lord, come without further delay. Come to deliver us from all the evils which cover the earth. After divine mercy, then, O Holy Virgin, it is the humility, love, and charity and zeal of your own admirable heart that we are indebted for his adorable incarnation, as indicated in these holy words of your divine canticle. He has received Israel his servant. Oh, may all the angels and saints forever sing to you a canticle of gratitude, praise, blessing, and immortal thanksgiving, in the name of the whole human race, for the inexpressible debt it owes to you for all eternity.
Hello, and we hope that you enjoyed listening to our Marian podcast. In the spirit of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, we say to you that there is no greater delight than to spread the devotion of Our Lady. We hope you share these sentiments and encourage you greatly to share with a loved one. Know that you are always in our prayers, and we ask that you keep us in yours. God bless.